Hey, fat fish heads! It's time for another edition of the hottest new podcast on all platforms, Fat Fish. Sit back and strap yourself in for the wildest ride on the open seas. Now, flap your fins for the fabulous Fat Fish brothers, Eric Fish Snyder and Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.
That's us. Oh, 71, baby.
Wow.
You all right? What's wrong with
I'm
you?
doing great. I am so relaxed. It's insane. What about you?
It's a little bit stressful, but today I'm happy because I get to see your Punam, and you took a week off. How was your vacation?
I went to Big Bear, California for our East Coast visitors, which is about equally a 3-hour drive from LA and about a 3-hour and 18-minute drive from Vegas. And you leave 110 degrees and you go into what's 77 in a day and 50 at night. Here's a picture of me the first morning I'm there at the cabin, just chilling, having a Joe, looking over the deck. Look at that. That's me. Okay. Now you can see the woods, the flora in the background, but this is what I'm really looking at is this, right? And it goes on, and I'm really looking at two coyotes chasing a raccoon, and you don't see that in LA, you don't see that in Vegas, but you see it in nature. So a lot of hiking, a lot of boating, a lot of chill time, and just I'm regenerized, man. I'm ready to get another 71 shows going.
Sounds good, man. Coyotes chasing a raccoon. That happens in LA a lot, matter of fact.
Where?
All over the place. There's so many coyotes now. It's so dangerous. They're looking for food. They're coming in, like walking the streets of Beverly Hills, walking the streets of Santa Monica. They're everywhere. It's sad.
But isn't my memory serves me correct? Living there for so many years, growing up there, aren't the hills flooded with homes? I mean, on your side of the hill, you're on the city side. There's so many homes in the hills. Where's the flora? Where's the brush they're coming from? Is it Malibu? Is it out that way?
No. You have to understand, we've had many, many fires every, fire season. And when these hills burn, they come out because all their, their natural, food, like raccoons and possums and all that stuff, they get fired up. They're gone. The fire takes them away. So until the grass grows back and all that stuff, they have to come out and find food. And they're everywhere. I have a Ring camera and they report coyotes on the street 0. Look out, bring your pets inside. So it's not good. It's not good.
No, it's not good. But I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time, but it's a
Thank
lot
God.
has happened. I
really
mean,
enjoyed
since the
that.
last time we did a show, we have a new presidential candidate who we always have Cloudwater. By the way, Barry and Mark, I could use a couple of cases. I'm going to I drank a case and a half of that of a Big Bear,
Okay.
So
Nice.
you talk about Cloudwater and try to get these guys to get me a couple of cases, will you?
I will. I'll you know what? I will send you the email of Mark, and you ask him whatever you need. They will send it to you right to your humble abode, man. It's so
I like them all.
This Cloudwater. God, it's great. Yeah. So we have a new candidate. Yes, lots happened since.
Well, we have a new candidate, and I love it. Howard Stern is so funny sometimes. You can like him or not like him, but he said this is the first candidate that we could do a 12-month swimsuit model. She's very attractive, and I guess she looks. You see her in the pants. She always wears the pantsuits. Kamala Harris. It's not Kamala Harris. Other people, it's Kamala Harris. Okay, get her name right. For those idiots out there. And I think about the swimsuit. I just think that I'll be honest with you, and I want your opinion on this. I think if Joe Biden would have ran against Donald Trump, I think it would have been a very close race, and Trump had a very good chance of winning. Now it's up in the air, man. This is a toss-up, and she's brought new energy to the Democrats. How do you see this playing out?
I have a feeling Kamala is going to, basketball analogy, hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer to beat him. you see, what's great is he's opening his mouth. He's showing his true colors, calling her, is she black? Is she Indian? Well, what? Shut up. Who the fuck are you to say what color somebody is? She is from Jamaican descent. And what are you from? Asshole descent, Trumpy? I mean, Jesus.
Well,
no,
we have a huge Trump. We have a Trump audience, and you take one side, whether I agree with that.
I have no problem with people liking him. I like the other side. It's like a basketball game.
I get that.
I like the Golden
State and I'm with you.
I'm
with you. If you look at what policies and what have you,
right.
Maybe he has some that are different than what the Democrats have. But as far as people go, people don't like Donald Trump for the kind of person he is. They can't. He's not a great person, but he's tough. And the Republican Party are tough. They're going to come to this fight, we say that, with guns blazing. And the Democrats, Kamala, will not just bring a knife to this party. And that's what scares them. I was up in Big Bear, and I did a lot of reading, something you don't do, because you have to have pictures in the
Sports page and Playboy and Hustler. That's it.
Love you, man. Boy, you keep all the periodicals in business. I swear to God. Brad's the only guy I know that gets he goes to the library to look at the past People magazine to see if he's in the Star Treks. So anyways, she will not bring a knife to this gunfight. So we're gonna have some good drama coming up. I will tell you this. Your what do you call him? Uncle Lumpy?
Uncle Lumpy Trump.
Yeah, he's got to debate her in September. If he backs out of this debate, that could be the knife that goes in the back. But look, like I said, it's brought some energy to this race, and it's going to be fun the way it plays out, and we'll see who she's going to announce who her running mate is. I don't know if the country, we're going to get political here, and people say to me on fishgrunny1@gmail.com, get more controversial. I don't know if the country is ready for the Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg is gay, and I don't know if the country would go for a black president and a gay guy as the vice president. I have no problem with. The way I look at it is, can you do the fucking job? Who cares when you hire someone? When I hire bartenders, and I don't care what you are, can you service people, right?
Right. I totally agree. And you know what? Who cares? Pete Buttigieg he's a good man. He's he's transportation guy, right? That's what he does now for this administration, and he's done a pretty good job. There's been some bumps in the road with the airlines, but I think he's done an admirable job, and we'll see what happens. I think she's going to pick somebody else. That's what I think.
I think it's Mark Kelly. I think it's going to be Kelly, or I think Josh Shapiro is an excellent choice.
Yeah.
I mean, because sometimes when you pick a vice president, you got to pick someone that's a little bit different than you are, has a little bit different takes on certain policies and certain agendas to broaden the whole spectrum of your party and what you want your platform to look like. That being said, platforms
kind of like this podcast.
Well, the platform in this podcast is a segue. I don't know about you. We talked about it last week. I've been watching. We had two streaming services up there, Netflix and Peacock. So I couldn't watch a lot of year-old shows. It pissed me off because Larry David's not on. Well, maybe Kirby is on Netflix, but I did watch the Olympics. And shout out to Simone Biles and Katie Ledecky. Are you following these stories? Unbelievable. Yeah,
it's fantastic. I'm an Olympics guy because it's the one moment in time. They train 4 years for sometimes under a minute, over a minute, 2 minutes, but to keep coming back and putting your body through all that training, it's remarkable. And I can't wait for track and field. Oh, it's going to be exciting. And I want my man, Steve Kerr, to bring home the gold. And I think he will. He will.
We're dominating. I'm so arrogant and ignorant. I didn't realize that my wife, Vicky, said, how come the Russians have no medals? They weren't allowed to show up at this thing. They weren't. It's the first day. They didn't boycott. They were told by the French or whatever, you can't show up because of what's going on in Ukraine. It's been a good week for there's the problem I have.
Yeah.
We just get a monumental deal done. It's like a 3-team trade in baseball, but we did it with Paul Whelan, the journalist. We got all our guys back. The Russians got theirs back. The Turkey was involved. Why can't we be fucking happy? Why do the Republicans have to say, well, Trump? No, this has nothing to do with Donald Trump, okay? Biden's been working on this since he got Brittany Griner out because he said at the time, which is about a year and a half ago, this is one of the biggest headaches I've ever had, and I lost sleep over it because you're leaving a military guy, a hero in Whelan, who's done great things for this country, to get her out. He probably caved in a little bit to woke culture. That's fine. She didn't deserve to be there 9 years for a hash thing. But why can't we be happy as Americans that we won? We got our people out. I don't get why are we so divisive, Brad?
Because everybody has a different opinion. No matter, even if everything is perfect, some asshole, man or woman, is going to, open their computer and start writing. And that's how life is. That's why we have a beautiful country, because freedom of speech. But yes, it was a great thing. We gave up some bad people all over the world. They went back to Russia. There's still 2 Americans there, a man and a woman. But they say because of this, people will take hostages in the future. But I think they would do that anyway, because they see what happened. They took the hostages, they use them as pawns. And, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. But we got them back and we should celebrate. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
Yeah. And we move on to your business, the entertainment business. And I heard all the strikes are settled right now. I know 2025 is going to be a boom year. I think we need to get work for guys like you in 2024.
There's one
all of
strike.
August.
What? There's one strike going on. It's for the video games. They're striking.
Okay.
They're
but correct me if I'm wrong. Excuse me. Did the IATSE strike settle? That one's done.
Settled. That's settled. Good. And now we're on to the. There's always going to be a strike. Now we're on to the video games. All the actors that do video games. The voices.
I want to talk to you about some good stuff later, but I got to bring this up because you showed. I mean, I wish you would have taken some more. I know you were with Rodney Allen Rippey. What a name from the past. And so Mel Brooks turned 98 years old. And of all the people you bring up that you worked with, and you worked with Larry David, and you worked with all these people, and you served people at the Fox commissary. To me, Mel Brooks, because younger people always say, my son said, Dad, I wish I could have grown with Mel Brooks. I saw Blazing Saddles. I saw younger. They were fantastic. I go, well, if you love this now, it shows you the genius of the man, that his stuff that he made carries over to your generation. I will tell you this. You know the man, so I'm going to let you do most of the talking on your relationship with him, how absolutely brilliant he is. Blazing Saddles, to me, is one of the top 5 movies I've ever seen in my life. Talk about Mel Brooks, Bradley.
Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. I mean, the list goes on and on. This guy, Spaceballs. Mel Brooks, started way back in Brooklyn, where he was born. And he worked on the, what's his name? Sid Caesar show. He was a writer. I mean, Larry Gelbart. We got Woody Allen, Mel Brooks. I mean, all the legends that went on to bigger and crazier things. But I met Uncle Mel Brooks in and he don't want to date myself because I look so good, in the Fox commissary, and I walk by him and I just goof on him. I would just say, this or that, and he goes, who are you? I go, I'm your worst nightmare. I'm going to be your waiter every day. Because back then I saw them more than they saw their families, because they'd always sit at the same table. That's when 20th Century Fox was a real family. I worked there for 4 years. But what's great is the writers had a liking to me. And I ended up in 3 other films. First, Life Stinks. Then I was in Robin Hood Men in Tights and Dracula Dead and Loving It. And the great story is I was serving Mel Brooks, Rudy DeLuca, Steve Haberman, his 2 writers, and Anne Bancroft one day. And they wanted me to try. That was a nice move with the lamp. Yeah, it was a 71. Can we get it right already with you? They wanted me to audition for Life Stinks. They had a part for me. So as I'm serving the food, I am auditioning, and Uncle Mel goes, "Okay," and he called me Johnny Cocktails. That's my one of my other pseudo names that I go by. And he goes, "Okay, go." So it's Mel Brooks looking for food downtown LA. He's starving, and I'm eating a burrito next to a taco stand. And he walks up to me and he sees my belly hanging out, and I have a burrito all over my shirt. And he goes, "Excuse me, do you know where I can get something to eat?" And I look at him like, "Come on, pal. I don't know where my next meal's coming from." And I take the burrito and I shove it in my mouth. And as I walk away, I fart. So with that scene, we did it. I auditioned, and then he looks to Anne Bancroft, goes, "Anne, what do you think? What do you think?" She goes, "I like him. I like him." And then Uncle Mel goes, "I got to make an adjustment. All right, do it this way." And I did it this way. And then he gives me the great words, the show business words, "We'll be in touch." So that could mean two things. Either you're going to get the part, or you just bend over like in prison, like Mr. Harvey Weinstein, and take it in the hoo-ha. But Uncle Mel has been so good to me. And what was nice is a couple of weeks ago, I found out where he lived. Okay. And I brought him the lunch he ordered every day: crudité, tuna sandwich on wheat. And then I brought him he like bottled water, and he like a 2% non-fat milk. And I used to give him cappuccinos and frozen yogurts, all that stuff. And I left it for him, and he called me. He left a message, and then he called me back, and he talked to me, and he said, "You want to come see me at the Peacock Theater? I'm going to be talking about Blazing Saddles." I go, "Uncle Mel, that's a yes." And that's a real happy, loud yes, sir. So I went and listened to, and you know what's amazing about him? 98 years old. He told some of the most incredible stories. And what's great about stories is, like, I went to see Tom Jones, and he had hip surgery, so he couldn't stand. Well, the stories between the songs of him with Elvis and Bob Dylan, all this stuff, are fascinating. That's why you go, you want to hear these stories. So they played Blazing Saddles, which was hilarious. I've seen it probably 100 times. And then they brought out Uncle Mel. He stands for 20 minutes. He's 98 years old. He's standing on the stage doing his shtick, and then he sits down and he told incredible stories about casting Blazing Saddles and Gene Wilder. But then he told a great story about Alfred Hitchcock, how he met Alfred Hitchcock for dinner at Chasen's. And do you remember where Chasen's was? Beverly Boulevard and Doheny.
Sure.
And now it's a Bristol Farms. And so Alfred Hitchcock ordered, I think, shrimp scampi. Then he ordered a baked potato loaded with all the goodies, sour cream, chives, bacon, all cheese, all that stuff. A big giant steak. And then for dessert, he had ice cream with chocolate sauce on top. Mel Brooks is watching this man eat, gobbles it down. Then he goes, "George, one more time." Brought it out again, a second course of the same meal, except the ice cream. And then they got up and left. But I mean, Alfred Hitchcock, he was a genius, one of our great directors of all time. This man had an appetite, okay? But Uncle Mel remembers these stories in detail. He's 98 years old. You don't even know what you had for breakfast yesterday, right? But Uncle Mel is an enigma. He's unbelievable.
You're going through this whole dissertation for 6 minutes, and it's brilliant. Very entertaining. But the one thing, wait a minute. The one thing you said that I disagree with is you asked Mel and you say to him, "You kidding? I don't know where my next meal is coming from." Brad, I could promise this audience until the day we die, you know where your next meal is coming from, and for 3 days.
That was acting.
If you look at the ground, you can't see the ground in Brad's room right there. You see all the deli pictures and all that shit in the back. But there's menus from everywhere. He's got menus from places that aren't even open anymore. He's got a menu from Chasen's, and it's now at Bristol Farms. Let me ask you this, because you know the man. Don't you think this? I'm just being speculative here. He's 98 years old, and he's watching all his friends. There's an old saying: when you're in your 20s and 30s, and 40s, you watch your grandparents die. When you're 30s, 40s, and 50s, In 60s, you watch your parents die. 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, you watch your friends die. I know how close he was with Bob Newhart, and he loved Don Rickles. And it's got to be tough on him because he's the last of the Mohicans. And what do you think goes through his head that there really no who's next? I mean, who's in there now? Clint Eastwood's 93. I don't know how close he is with Mel Brooks.
94. Clint
Eastwood's 94, but
yeah.
I mean, Brooks is
so here's the thing. Mel Brooks' best friend was Carl Reiner, and he used to.
Is he still with us?
Excuse me?
Is he still with us?
No, Carl Reiner passed away. He was 96. Carl Reiner, if you watch Seinfeld, no, you've watched Curb, they were on an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. But Mel Brooks used to go over to Carl Reiner's house every night. They would have dinner together and they would watch Jeopardy. That's what they did every single night.
Walter Cockers.
And then, of course, you come in the room after, his staff, gives them their food and they're sleeping. Yeah. They dozed off, both of them. So, but to
think
live
about what you said.
What
excuse me, except I'm taking a tenor of what you said.
You like to cut me off. Go ahead. I love you for it. Go ahead.
Well, because on top of my head, I'm up. But you said something great. You just mentioned these names. You said, think of the think tank. You just said. You said that Mel Brooks was in writers with Larry Gelbart and Woody Allen. People don't realize they know Woody Allen. For our younger audience, you go watch Annie Hall, go watch Manhattan, watch some of his great films. Larry Gelbart developed MASH, the right. TV show MASH, and come on, was there a greater, longer run than that? So you got Mel Brooks, Woody Allen, and Larry Gelbart, and Carl Reiner, and you think just icons. And imagine those conversations they had when they're sitting there together, just splurting out ideas.
In the writer room. I have a lot of writer friends. I'm a writer myself. And the great thing about being a writer is it's not necessarily being the great, funny writer. You got to get along with everybody in the room. My buddy, Tom Martin, told me that one time. He goes, I'm not the greatest writer. He wrote on The Simpsons. He wrote on many other shows. And he said, the only reason I'm here is because I get along with everybody in the room. And it's true because you spend so much time with these people. If you're a fucking egomaniac asshole, they show you the door real quick, kind of like what I want to do with you.
I'm going to segue. We touched upon something, and you have to get it to me. I don't know. I have to go through broadcast standards, but this comes from Sienna Alvarez that emailed us and said, you on a recent show talked about a short that Grunny did with Tom Sizemore, and they talked about cunnilingus. When can you show that? And really? I go, Brad's got to get it to me. Number one, I mean, it's phenomenal. I got to see where we can go with it because when you see Brad chemistry with Tom Sizemore, we lost a great in him. But if you can't see this chemistry and you're not on the ground laughing your ass off by that 15-minute thing, you look at that you guys did the Force. You're doing the Force, right? You're trying to get that done. You got this scissor reel going. Who could you put in his place? Because your chemistry in that was so phenomenal. Have you talked to your people? Is there someone you're thinking about? Can you replace Tom Sizemore?
A number of people I would love for them to, consider it. I would love Will Smith, believe it or not. I love Will Smith. I met him a long time ago on a show called The Party Machine. Arsenio Hall had a show after his show called The Party with Nia Peoples. And I sat next to Will during lunch break, and funniest guy, nicest guy. I would love him to take a look at it. The Rock would be great. Dwayne Johnson. There's so many people, but there was something special about Tom Sizemore. There was, we've told stories
about him. Because Sizemore showed his vulnerability for
Sienna. I will get you that scissor.
No, get us. We're going to show it. No,
I'm going to send it over to you. Right. And then you do it. Hopefully we can get it on for Sienna.
I think we can. I think there might be one or two outlets that we can't, but we'll get it on because you know what? Yeah. Let's act like we're in England where they can show all that shit all the time and not be here where, oh my God, they talked about going down on a woman. Oh Jesus, So I think The Rock, I'm not buying I love The Rock. I love everything what he stands for. He put together a spring football league. I'm a football junkie.
Yeah.
I think it'd be too intimidating because you're this big level guy that eats donuts, and Sizemore is this guy that, like I said, you could see you could see the insecurity and vulnerability in his character. There's nothing insecure or vulnerable about Will Smith or The Rock sitting next to you. You know,
No, but
maybe a guy I was thinking about that could do it. It'd be funny too. And he's this guy's taking a stab at playing characters that are like superheroes. Paul Rudd would be great with you in that
Oh
thing.
my gosh, I know Paul. Paul is fantastic.
Paul Rudd would be great.
I would love, Paul is wonderful, very humble, great actor. But you have to understand, I think we have to go diverse because of the dichotomy between the both of us, two sides of the track. And this guy, the lead is a disgruntled 30-year veteran of the Los Angeles police force, and he does it his way. And I do it everything by the book. I'm just right out of the academy, and I do everything by the book. So you have to have that. There's many layers to this, but you know what? I just want to get it made. That's all I want to do.
Who's looking for a job? Just don't let him use a gun on the set. Alec Baldwin would be perfect because he's the loose cannon and he's got that edge to him.
Yeah, I don't want him. No, I want somebody.
You don't want him.
Why are you?
If they offered him and they said we're going to do this thing, you take him. Come on.
What about a black guy, an Indian?
I don't care. Yeah, anyone.
Diverse. When you look out into the world, you see a rainbow of different people. I believe there should be a diverse actor to play the lead. That's just my opinion, and I agree.
But I'm talking about the chemistry. All right, think about diverse. Who's a diverse Indian actor? Okay, it'd be great.
Iron Eyes Cody.
It'd be great at this. And when we get off the subject,
Indian who cried when they littered. Remember that commercial where you threw a piece of I threw my candy bar wrapper on the ground, and then he would start crying because America had littered this beautiful planet, a beautiful country.
He's got an edge to him. And he was great. Bad Boys. He still works a lot now. Esai Morales would be perfect.
Oh, he would be great.
He's about 60 years old. He's a little older than you are, 38, but he's got that edge. He was so great in La Bamba. I just saw La Bamba.
He's great.
I hadn't seen La Bamba since 1987 when it came out with Lou Diamond Phillips. He's great. He was so terrific in Bad Boys and stuff like that. So
he is a really. I met him a couple times on the strike line. Really nice guy, down to earth, nothing like his characters.
So what are you hearing?
How good is this Cloudwater?
I drank it all. How good is it? I drank. Oh my God. Well, talk about a gut. It's what it really does. It's a stimulant for your gut. It's a stimulant for your gut. It helps your digestive system. And we all trust me, when you get older, we all have problems with our digestive systems and your metabolism, and it helps. Which one are you drinking? I can't tell.
I got this is my favorite, blood orange and coconut.
Ooh,
so good. It's so, and you know what's great about this? We're going to give our audience a chance. We're going to give them the family discount. You get a case of Cloudwater. Use our family favorite discount, Fatfish20, Fatfish20, and then you can get your discount. And I'm telling you, you'll thank me in the morning. It's so good, and it's so good for you.
Right,
Cloudwater, baby, all different flavors,
and
all different styles.
Think about Fatfish20. You can watch and catch the Fatfish podcast on Facebook Live, YouTube, DBTV, Roku, Podbean for our listening audience. I love to listen to that guy talk. And then check out clips. I just put clips of Joe Kopp. It was great last week. And a guy on our second appearance. We're on TikTok at Fish6134. Thanks to Shucks Tavern for employing me. And Johnny Cocktails Entertainment, The Force. Everything this guy's coming up. You're gonna get some chunky love coming pretty soon in 2025. Bullshit. It's happening. What do you mean this thing up praying?
2025. What are you doing 2024? What are you talking about?
There you go. What are you hearing now? I just got a text right now. If the strikes are coming to an end, is there a chance that Grunberg will be working? Nicky Minks will Grunny be working in 2024? I don't know. Sign the guy. What?
No, I'm up for a couple things, but I had it. Believe it or not, they don't film things in Hollywood anymore. I have to go to different countries now to do what I do best in America. So I had to get my passport renewed, and I got it renewed. So now what happens is when you read for a part or you send in your self-tape, it goes to casting, then it goes to the producers. They look at it, the director, and then they put you on a veil. That means availability. So, but 5 guys could be on availability. 10 guys, never know. But they said they liked me a lot. I'm supposed to go to Mexico if I get it in a month or so. But I got my passport, so I'm glad. So I can get away from you, go to a country that no one's heard about, hide under a fucking bed, and then I don't know what will happen then. I got to find a wife. Where do you think I should go to find a wife? Let's talk about that.
We've talked.
Where should I go?
Oh shit! We've talked on many episodes.
I had these girls in the back from Kazakhstan, and I told them, "Can you find me a wife?" And they said, "Oh, you'll come. We'll show you. We'll introduce you to all our friends." I go, "Yeah, baby. Does anybody want to be an American citizen? I'll marry them and bring them back to the USA, baby." Oh man,
we don't need you going to Kazakhstan because you already did Borat. We don't need Borfet. Okay, so.
Get me a wife. What about all the people you meet at the bar? You told me you were going to set me up with somebody. What happened there?
Everyone says how adorable you are. That guy you're with is adorable. He's so adorable.
Listen, I'm a nice guy, not a bad boy. I'll treat you well. I'll make you laugh. That's the whole thing. I'll make you laugh every day. I'll feed you, of course. And you know what? Listen, I am disgusting looking, but I'm not a bad catch.
But there's a dark side to you in a good way. The dark side is, first of all, the girl will never starve, and you'll always take care of the woman that is lucky enough to be your mate for the rest of your life. You're 38, so let's say you have 50 years. The second thing is, there's a side to you that's the green door, the red rooster, that scene in Billions when they first started with Paul Giamatti, when his wife and him go to the sadomasochistic club. The look on your face when Onyx Muse that we had on many episodes ago talking about leather and chains, I thought you were going to orgasm right there. Okay, so that's the great thing about you is you're willing to try anything. Yeah. So if you want me to be a matchmaker or a yenta, I could try, but you're not going to move to Vegas. What are you going to move to Vegas for? You know how hot it is here? Actually. What?
I have to plug one thing. I watched it. It was phenomenal. My brother, Greg Grunberg, and J.J. Abrams, his best friend, his brother, calls him his brother because they're very tight. They met when they were 5, produced the Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle documentary.
I saw it.
I watched it. It was unbelievable. It was so good. And Pete Rose, you got to watch the stories.
I did.
Rose, I mean, wasn't it unbelievable?
Oh.
I mean, Pete Rose, listen, in a nutshell, Pete Rose is his own worst enemy, correct? I mean,
the problem. I love the documentary. Kudos to Greg and J.J. Abrams. Just a phenomenal job. Big fan. My favorite baseball player of all time. Yeah. If you remember about Pete Rose, but I'll go there. He's the only guy when he took a walk, he would run to first base. That's why they called him Charlie Hustle. All right. Yeah. And he was in a divorce with his wife, and he got up in front of the judge. You have anything to say, Mr. Rose? He goes, yeah. She goes, she could take anything, give her anything. She can't have my son, and she can't have my bats because he took all the bats that he had.
Oh,
I want to ask. I'm glad you brought this up. I want to ask your opinion. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I really do as a player. I mean,
Ty Cobb was a horrible human being. Do you know Ty Cobb beat his women, beat his wife? He was a terrible human being. They're using Pete Rose as an example or something. There's steroids, all this stuff going on. Pete Rose bet on his own team. I don't know if he bet against his team, but he bet on his own team. But
he bet them to win.
Right, to bet him win.
And I read the report by Giamatti and all that stuff.
Yeah, he was a coach. He was a player coach. He was the manager and a player at the same time.
Never bet him to lose, bet him to win. And he stunk that year. He lost a lot of money, dude.
Of course. And he says he stopped gambling. Who knows? But the bottom line is Pete Rose is an institution. There'll never be another Pete Rose. And you know what's funny? In a lot of ways, I don't think he wants to get into the Hall of Fame because he does great signings. He goes, thousands of people show up. You get his autograph, take a picture with him, sign balls, sign bats. I mean, he has more hits than no one will ever break his record. I mean, I know records are made to be broken, but do you think anybody will ever break that record? Most hits?
No, they showed it, but I want you to think about this. I remember the way he approached the game was a 1970 All-Star game when It's an all-star game, and he
Yeah.
circles third base, and he just goes head first into a guy named Ray Fosse, who's playing catcher, knocked the guy out. Actually hurt the guy, and that's the way he played the game. In all-star games now, you don't go all out like that. Everything he did was the way we should approach. Like you talk about positivity and approaching life, it's 1,000% is the way Pete Rose lived his life. Still does live his life. He's very vocal, and he's very affable here. He's in Vegas a lot. I know he's got a house here.
It was interesting when one of the Zipper brothers, they produced it too with my brother and JJ, asked him a question. He froze sometimes because he was caught off guard. I love that. You know, if you watch his face, they would ask him a question about something. Have you ever been to Gold's Gym in Cincinnati? No, I never went there. And then they show a picture of him in Gold's Gym working out. I mean, wow. But I have a great story about that. My dad, he was in the schmata business downtown LA, and we loved, of course, the Dodgers, and we loved the Big Red Machine. So Glenn Campbell had seats, and he didn't use all the seats. You know, he would be on the road, working. So he had a broker who sold his seats. He had the seats in the dugout called dugout seats, the same level as the dugout, right in back of home plate. So we were on the visitor side, right in front of the what do you call it? The on deck circle. And right in front of my seats, I saw big George Foster in those guns, man.
George Foster,
Davey Concepcion, Cesar Cedeno, Joe Morgan, all the Danny Drees and all these guys. And then Pete Rose would come out and I go, fuck, that's fucking Pete Rose. You know, and they, swing the bat, getting ready to go up to the plate. But man, it was so exciting. I always like being on the other side. You know, the Dodger side's great, but being on the other side and seeing the visiting team, it was exciting, and it was a great game.
Johnny Bench.
Yeah,
Johnny Bench.
Why does a Johnny Bench like Pete Rose? Is there jealousy?
I don't know. I did a podcast with a guy that's better looking called John Daly, and we had him on, and he was with great stories and about that team. He talked very, very respectful of Pete Rose, but he also talked guys. There was a guy who played first base for the Reds named Bobby Tolan. Remember him?
Yes.
Great player, but he gets lost in all those names, the Fosters, Concepciones, and they had a great. That was you and I, well, you're too young to remember those teams. You're only 38, but I grew up in the 70s, and I remember watching the Reds kick the Dodgers' ass.
How many did they win when they were the Big Red Machine? Did they win? How many?
I think they won 3. I think, the 70s was dominated by the Oakland A's that won in 73, 72, 73, and 74. Then the Reds came along in 75, 76. The Reds and the A's dominated the 70s. So
unbelievable. I mean, that's when baseball was so special. Garvey, Say, Lopes, Russell.
Oh,
Dusty.
Who's
Baker.
the other guy? Bill Russell. That was the guy who played shortstop.
Yeah, Bill Russell, and he was the manager for the Dodgers for a little bit. You know what I loved? I remember I was in 6th grade. Yankees, Dodgers. And they took us into the auditorium to watch the game.
Sure.
And I remember Big Joe Ferguson. Remember he threw that guy out, and Big Steve Yeager blocked the plate. I remember Big Jimmy Wynn in center. Oh, God, man.
The toy cannon.
That's the great thing, I mean, I love baseball today. I love all sports, but sports were very special, a different kind of special back in the 70s and 80s, don't you think? And I was
because we appreciated it more because we didn't get a chance. Well, when the Dodgers played on the road when we were kids, and when I was a kid, Brad, you remember, you're a little younger than I am.
Yeah.
The only time you got a chance to watch the Dodgers play on the road was every Sunday if there's a road game, and when they played the Giants. Other than that, you better hope they played with Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek on the game of the week. That's what made Scully and Jerry Doggett so beautifully to listen and paint that picture for you. Do you remember this? We talked about this. You remember going out, your dad getting the LA Herald Examiner, the Times, or reading all the box scores? Remember the box scores and shit? And it was crazy. You appreciated things more. Look, it's great we can do a podcast on a phone. It's great if I said to you, what was Bobby Tolan's stats for his career? You can go on your phone right now while I'm talking and say he was a career 278, 38 home runs a year. But I like the fact that you had to earn it when we were younger. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, I do. So I just want everybody to know, tune in. HBO Max, Charlie Hustle, the Pete Rose story. Unbelievable. 4 episodes. There's 4 episodes. You got to watch them all, and you will thank me in the morning. It's so good. It was really.
Let me ask you this, because it came out on it's always in it comes out on all the internets and basically on Twitter, or I guess X. I don't understand this. Every year they talk about the smelliest people in Hollywood, and every year it's McConaughey and Pitt, and I guess 2 people. These people don't believe in using deodorant. I don't know how bad they smell. I don't get that close, but I guess Courtney Cox and Gwyneth Paltrow. Am I right? We're also. What is this? How do you do a scene? I want you to, I die. You could say this on any podcast. Talk about the scene you did on Shameless with Dermot Mulroney.
Yeah.
And when you played the complete asshole customer in the diner.
I was the father.
How do you deal with people that stink when you work with them? And how do you tell them?
Well, here's the thing. In that scene, we're outside after I leave, me and my wife, because we're so fucking pissed off from the service. And Emmy Ross, and she goes, 15% is, usual, at least 15% tip. And I said, I would have given it to you if the service was good, the eggs were cold. And then Dermot comes out and he says, "You got a problem here? I'm the manager." I go, "This woman you should get rid of her, blah, blah, blah." And then I go, what did I say? I said something to the effect of this bitch. And he had a crush on her. So he takes me, and he's a little guy, grabs my collar and throws me up against the wall in back of me. And we must have done it 25 times. Okay. And I said to him, we were in the van back to our cars. I said, "Dermot, great scene. I could take the pounding that you did on me, but your fucking breath was so bad. How about a fucking mint? What the fuck? I almost fucking died. I almost fucking fainted.
Oh, my side.
Stinky, stinky doggy dog breath. Your halitosis. Oh, my God." That's why, Fish, you haven't been on a lot of sets, but when your mom and your dad, worked at Paramount and I think Fox, they have a little cart. And Steve Kerr told me about this. They have a little cart on the side, on the bench with mints, gum, all sorts of, lozenges, all that kind of stuff. But it's really the breath, the Tic Tacs, the certs, whatever your fancy is. But the breath's got to be good, especially as an actor. How about when you're making out with another actor, a guy making out with a girl making out with a guy in your case, a guy making out with a guy, a girl making out with a girl. Bottom line is your breath's got to smell good. What the fuck? What are you eating at craft service to make it so vile? Oof, yeah. It was really bad.
Yeah, but it's this whole thing about hygiene. How can you not put deodorant on? You got to be around people. I'm very self-aware of hygiene. I'm in the customer service industry. You too. You're driving a Lyft right now. You can't. If you get in your car, and you stink, they're gonna know.
That's what I want to know. They're all natural? I mean,
they're all natural. It's not like they go out
spray under the arms. Can't they spray under the arms or put a roll on?
This is just what comes out in publications that these people.
I know.
These people smell in Hollywood, and look. Right. If I was single, I'd like to get close to Gwyneth Paltrow and Courtney Cox and do this. I'd like to have the opportunity. I hear you. Hi, Courtney. I'm a big fan. I hear you stink. Can I take a whiff for you? Nah, ain't gonna happen.
When you do the 5-minute military shower, Mr. Fish, I have a question. You get out of the shower, you go under the arms. Do you spray the ball sack between the legs? Do you go there or no?
No, but I have that Lume stuff. Remember the Lume stuff? I go there with that. Yeah, because but I use regular. I do roll on. There's no more spraying anymore. I do the Dove roll on. I have a Lume for the sack and stuff like that. I floss and I teeth and I don't a dentist, so I'm pretty good on the breath. But you have to. You're right. When you're in the customer service industry, if your breath stinks by the look on someone's face when they go, yeah.
You don't have to do this.
Yeah,
you don't have to do that.
When was the last time you? Well, the thing is, I want this to happen.
Shower.
When has this happened to you? When have you ever made out with a girl on the set? You ever have a kissing scene?
Yes, I've had maybe in Eating Las Vegas. I got to make out with Julie Benz, and I never kissed on camera. So I asked her, I go, "What's the protocol?" She goes, "Open mouth, no tongue." And I told her, "Listen, baby, I'm method. I got to go to the tongue. I got to go to the tongue." Yeah, no, you got to open the mouth, but you fake like you're tongue kissing. But I told her, I'm method. I got to do it the right way. And I knew her husband at the time, and he was the greatest guy. He didn't give a fuck. But
no,
I'm gonna get Eating Las Vegas to show some. It was a short film called Eating Las Vegas. It was a spoof on Leaving Las Vegas. So I was Nick Cage, but I go to Vegas to eat myself to death. Oh my God.
I gotta see that. Give me some clips of that for the show. Seriously, that's awesome.
There's one
you
shot
do that anyways
in a Speedo. There's one shot of me in a Speedo by the pool making out with Julie Benz, and then she pours Mushu chicken all over my chest.
Yeah. Is it true? That disgusting? Is it true when you do makeout scenes if you really get into it? I know we talked about Monsters Ball that there's rumors that Billy Bob Thornton and Halle Berry really went at it,
Right.
Have you ever been on a set where you're watching the scene and a guy's making out and he gets a hard on or she gets aroused and they got to stop?
I have a great story for you. Tommy Lee Jones, Tommy Lee?
Oh, yeah. He was
performing with Rosanna Arquette. They were unbelievable. And he got rock hard. She was on top of him. And I swear to God, cut. Yeah. Bring in a gaffer. They literally, they usually took what kind of tape? What's the gray tape? The tape.
Masking tape. Masking tape. Duct tape.
What was that again?
Masking tape, duct tape, electrical tape.
Duct tape. They duct taped his cock to his leg. I swear to God, they did. Because I swear to God, he got so rock hard because she's so beautiful. He couldn't help himself. So they came in and masked his pee-pee to his leg. So
one of the famous stories is they did a famous Noxzema commercial with Farrah Fawcett Majors and the great Joe Namath. And what she does is she takes it and she puts it on his thing, and then she blows a little bit of the foam off. I guess they had to do 56 takes because he kept getting a hard on because he would hug her. And she kept feeling it and start laughing, and I'm dying. I'm dying. I mean, it's got to be embarrassing, but it's also probably, a little bit of
I like to be embarrassed that way. I think I could do that. I don't give a fuck. Come on.
It makes you rest in peace. Yes. But even if a smelly woman like Gwyneth Paltrow or Courtney Cox did that to you and stuff like that, you would pop wood. You need duct tape.
Some of these people like that bad smell. That's like a fetish. Like they don't want, they don't want air.
This is rumor about these people. I'm just bringing it up. If you've ever had an encounter with a celebrity that stinks, if you ever had a Dermot Mulroney moment like Brad Grunberg did, fishgrunny1@gmail.com. We'll get you on the show to talk about it. That's it. We'll get you on the show to talk about your experience with people that stunk, whether it's a flight attendant, whether it's a bartender, whether it's a Lyft driver slash actor slash Johnny Cocktails slash every fucking thing on the planet.
Hey, what about women that don't, go downstairs and make that smell good? Some of them, I've been with some women, believe it or not.
Never.
That, oh my gosh, because I love pleasing women. I go down there to the Bermuda Triangle and, do my work. Oh, some of it smells like sushi. Oh, I love sushi.
I think they do it to you personally just to piss you off. I don't want you to go any further. It's like, oh God, this guy took me out to a $1,200 dinner and took me to a show for $800. I've got to give him something. So I'll let him. I'm just gonna have a sewer down there.
I'm just gonna lay there.
Yeah. Well, go look at you and Tom. Hey, Selena Alvarez. I'm gonna get him and Tom Cruise. Him and Tom Sizemore talking to the great Tom Sizemore, rest in peace. about
Yes.
that action.
That was
Brad,
ridiculous.
just a couple shout outs. Jolene Picaro. It's now 50 minutes into the show. When I graduated high school, she was the absolute number one cheerleader, the best looking girl, the nicest person to this day. She still looks gorgeous and is still a great person. And she married a guy named Steve Duddy, the number one quarterback in the history of Cal State Northridge, right? What she's famous for is her family. Her dad, Joe Picaro, was a famous percussionist that's played for years, but her three brothers, Jeff and Mike, rest in peace, and Steve, started a band called Toto. Okay.
Oh,
It's
wow.
yeah, and it's just awareness because Mike died of ALS,
Oh,
and we saw Steve Gleason at the S. We see people right
God.
now. We're watching what Keith told me to give his love to you and thank you so much. He said this podcast is one of the
Keith, we love you.
well, hang on, is one of the brighter moments that he has because the chemo is not going to shit out of him. He has pancreatic cancer and he's
Oh,
in the fight of his life. The Michael J. Fox is so. You always
oh.
talk about being positive, and you talk and Jolene, happy birthday. You're gorgeous. May you have 40 more. What people go through, what the Andrew Kleins go through and losing Molly to bullying and suicide, we're blessed, you and I, that no matter if we sell this podcast or not, the fact that I could have this time with you, an hour to vent and have a good time, we're blessed when a lot of our friends aren't.
And if you have problems, if you have dark thoughts, 988. That's the new
Yeah.
what you dial. You don't have to have the 1-800 number. Suicide prevention hotline, 988. Everybody's
Let
got
me ask
that.
you this. It's off subject. So I hadn't seen Jolene in years, and I went to the 30th reunion, and I see her drop dead, and just a great person. You could be gorgeous, but if you're a bitch or an asshole, then go walk away. But
Like
just great. But
your
don't you?
wife
Didn't
is
you go?
hot.
Did you when you went to one? Did you probably went to all your reunions, right?
I just went to one. I planned the last one, August 2020. No, I'm sorry, August 2022, and it
Okay.
was fantastic. And
You,
this one moment made it all worthwhile. I worked so hard on it. And you know how hard it is to get people to go to a reunion. I saw them on Facebook. I go, it's different. This is a one-time deal. So I was just walking around early in the reunion, and this wonderful girl came up to me and says, Brad, I have this beautiful, she had a little sundress on. She was a nerd, and she just had makeup on. It was COVID, so we were outside at this hotel, but she was so beautiful, and she was having such a good time. Big smile on her face all night from 5:30 to 11:30. And this is funny. I'm walking in my room at 11:30. All the nerds are still there. And all of a sudden, this girl and my buddy pop out from the pool area. And his hair is all disheveled. Her hair is disheveled. The clothes are all wrinkled. I go, but you guys, what do you do? But just go back to what you were doing.
let me ask you this. Give me one
You don't
person.
react to that story? Where are you? Are you?
No, I'm just saying. We got limited time. I want to talk about your reunion. You
Limited
put the
time.
reunion together.
Okay.
Name the one person, two people, one a guy and one a girl, that either look great and didn't in high school, or just unfortunately, if you can, you don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but didn't look so great and they were a stud in high school, girl or guy. Go the other way. Go someone that didn't look great.
Okay,
And
the
all of a
guy
sudden,
would
oh my
be,
God, they blossomed.
the guy that was a stud in high school. I mean, the guy was, shredded. Eric Fish Snyder.
Ha!
Now look at him.
Oh,
What's interesting is the high school quarterback, he's got the beer belly now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the girl that came up to me and said, this is the greatest night of your life. Looked beautiful, I swear. And she was a nerd. She had glasses and all that, but she got straight A's, junior high and high school, but she looked beautiful.
Well, let me ask you this. You just talked about what about going down on a woman and it smells like sushi? What about you? What about a girl that's going to go down on you? You look at you and you're the only guy I know that when a girl's going down on him, you got a corned beef sandwich in your mouth and it's dripping, the mustard's coming off the thing. And then you finally realize what's going on. You have to be extra careful because guys, I know you know this from some of the gay porn you've done, but guys' sacks stink also.
Gay for pay. Please.
Gay for pay.
What about you, buddy? When you go down, they look down, they see an aquarium, and they see fishes go by. No pun intended. Yeah, those glasses, man. Do you ever take the glasses off for anything?
I cannot. The funny thing is, if I take these glasses off, I can't see you. I'm literally almost blind without glasses.
Bad.
So, and I told you this on the first podcast we did 71 shows ago. I'm allergic to LASIK and I'm allergic to contacts, so I'm stuck with glasses. But look, J.J. Abrams wears glasses, and Woody Allen wears glasses. And your mentor, Larry David, wears glasses. What's wrong with glasses?
Nothing. I'm just talking about you.
I look good. I'm a handsome man.
Mr. Magoo.
I'm handsome.
You always do the Mr. Magoo. You push. The thing that really annoys me is when you do this. You have the glasses on, right? And then you do this.
Oh yeah. It goes on.
All day long.
What are you? What are you, optometrist? What kind of shit's that? You wear glasses too? Wait. Breaking news.
Reading. I had to get reading glasses.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You make fun of me. Trust me, the reading's going to turn into regular glass. Brad, I didn't wear glasses.
I don't read.
Real quick, I didn't wear glasses until I was 58, which
Who cares? Anyway.
6 years ago. Hey.
Really?
Football season started.
You didn't wear glasses all your life? What? You didn't wear glasses all your life? Really?
No. I started with readers, and then my eyes started to go, and they said, look, I told the doctor, I don't, it's all going to go just down below. Don't let it go. I don't care.
No little blue pill for you. No. Oh.
I did one. I told you this in the past when I had some heart issues. When your blood pressure goes way up, it means the blood isn't circulating to your
PP.
To your main vein, and I went crazy. I said, "Oh my God, what's going on? I got erectile dysfunction," and they got me on blood pressure medicine years ago. About 10 years ago, I had a problem with a ticker, and I'm good. I'm really. What about you? Are you on the blue pill?
I'm knocking on wood. No. My doctor gave me some, but I haven't had to use it yet. No. Listen, it's Father Time. I mean, listen. Are you still as horny now than you were when you were 20?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can get rock
I really
hard.
am. I mean, I'm, but I have.
You can get rock hard.
I have
like
a big libido. I am.
Really?
Yeah.
You can get rock hard at what is it, 64? Then
I'll be 64 on September 15th, people. We might do a show on my birthday.
64. Let's throw a party.
64, buddy.
Will your beautiful wife, she's gorgeous and so sweet, Vicky, give you a hall pass for your 64th?
Well, yeah, but she gets one with you. So trust me.
I like
you're gonna. She's so great. No, I don't get a hall pass for 64. I probably get a hall. I'll probably I have a hall pass. One, it was Kate Beckinsale is my favorite.
Oh, she's your favorite.
And also what's her face, Halle Berry,
and Paul Lynn from Hollywood Stories.
Who's Vicky? Vicky loves Ryan Gosling. I mean, she's just in love with Ryan Gosling. And Hugh Jackman, who, by the way, thank you, Hollywood. I guess Deadpool and Wolverine just killed at the box office. So, did you watch the movie?
You know who my girl is? Diane Lane. I love her.
Love her.
Oh, she has a
Jerry Valance.
She has a real huge
The Outsiders.
Yes, Diane Lane. If I ever meet her,
lucky bastard. Josh Brolin is married to her, isn't he? Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
So anyway, we got to get out of here.
All right.
When Nanny cackles, let me know, because for some reason I can't. I'm not listening to. I'm not getting Dave.
Okay, you got it.
Listening to the Fat Fish Podcast, heard on all your favorite platforms.
I can't hear you. When you say nanny, I'm out.
I'll do it. That's it.